Speaking to that Lodi pride and working together, I think one thing that maybe doesn't come to the surface quite often enough is you have over 600 grape growing families here, and there's less than 100 of them that are focused in the wine business. So what happens to the other 500 grape growing families? Well, they are highly supportive of those who are making the wines, because they realize that has put Lodi on the map in a way that it couldn't really have happened without those. So instead of getting this fracture or division between those who've gone into the wine business and those who have stayed as grape growers, as you will often see in other regions, here it's quite the opposite. Everybody is supportive of that, and quite often you'll see families that don't ever want to necessarily have a winery, but their son wants to go and get an enology degree so he can come back and work for somebody else, or their daughter wants to get a viticulture degree so she can work in somebody else's vineyard operation. So it's really exciting to see that total support.
It's a vibrant time for wine culture, wine jobs in Lodi.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is interesting that you're probably 1/3 of the way through this transition of grape growers to winemakers. So I can see that there's a lot of opportunity for the next generation here.
Yeah, there is.
And a lot of interest. And some of our families who have been very successful and managed to grow into large wine brands as well are bringing more families back to Lodi and bringing more of their children, and like you were saying, other children back into the fold. And it's really about the total success for the region collectively. I think the old adage that a rising tide raises all boats is absolutely true here in Lodi, and everybody looks at it that way.
So we had a question, unfortunately, I didn't bring a map out, but somebody asked where Lodi is.
Okay.
So without a map, how do we explain where Lodi is?
Really simple to explain Lodi. If you can picture the state of California, kind of has this bend, and there's San Francisco that sits partway up and kind of right at the point where it bends from north to south. We sit 90 miles or 90 minutes due east of San Francisco proper, and about 30 minutes due south of Sacramento. So we sit kind of right in the pocket of those two regions, and so it's really easy to get here. And it's a fantastic place.
Absolutely easy to get to, and that explains the cold influence where it's coming from.
Absolutely.
It's coming from the Pacific, that San Francisco's miserably cold in the summer at times, and that filters in here. And the interesting thing is it filters in basically every day. You have what you call delta breezes. This is not a random occurrence. This is the 24-hour cycle that you guys go through. Could you explain a little bit what exactly happens?
Well, if you look at all the wine growing regions of Northern California, you'll notice that they all circle around the Bay Area. And so if you go directly north, you'll see Sonoma County. And then as you go clockwise, you get to Napa, then Solano, then you get to Lodi. And then you get to the Oakley area where you have these old vine Movedras and Zinfandels, and then you end up in Santa Clara Valley and San Jose. And all those regions have historically been grape growing regions because of the very similar trend, which is this breeze that comes in during the day, and then at nighttime those temperatures drop. And I know that when we lived in Yountville, we always had the Carneros breeze that would come in at 5 p.m. Well, here I'm sitting near Victor, and I get this beautiful Delta breeze that hits us at about 6 p.m. and where the temperature really starts dropping. But during the day, all day long, you feel that breeze. And that's why, if you drive around Lodi, you'll notice that 75% of all the acres planted are planted east-west, so that they can benefit from those breezes going through the
row orientation.
The row orientation is east-west, and there's a